Hi honey, welcome back to our weekly date night. We're Mike and Jen, just navigating life, marriage, and type 1 diabetes together. All right, let's get into it. Hi honey.
Hello.
I feel like we start all that way every time. I'm like, hi honey, and I laugh.
You do, because you love it.
Because I love you.
Now everybody just left. Like,
well, welcome back to Hi Honey Podcast. Today, we're going to talk about some personal journeys. We're going to talk about NLD, which is, if you're watching, what is on my shins and my hand, but you probably can't really see from here. But anyways, that's definitely a hot topic that has happened on my social media page. I didn't realize how many women really do struggle with that. So I guess we can start there.
okay. You're gonna open it up with, I guess,
give me your phone. Give me your Google, so I can read a quick description.
I was just gonna say, talk about when you got diagnosed, like how you found out and stuff.
So first, what NLD is, it's Necrobiosis Lipoidica Diabeticorum. It's a rare chronic skin condition often associated with diabetes. It occurs in around 0.3 to 1.2% of patients, and it presents as a shiny yellowish red atrophic plaques with visible blood vessels, usually on the shins. It causes collagen degeneration, possibly due to blood vessel inflammation. Treatments, which are often difficult, include steroids and other things that I can't read. Specialized light therapy. We need to get a red light. I've heard that really helps. That was just like a quick description of what it is, but I will share my journey. I very first posted about NLD on social media probably like a couple years ago. I was surprised by some of the comments I got on there with people, but since then social media has grown a little bit. And so the last 2 times I've posted about it this year, they really kind of popped off. You can yawn.
Sorry.
It's okay. Mike took an allergy pill, so he's a little groggy.
Yeah, I'm droopy. I'm okay.
Whose allergies are bad. I love you. Thank you.
Love you, thanks.
Anyway, LD. When I was around 16 years old, I noticed on both of my shins, like tiny little bumps. They were the color of my skin tone. So they looked like mosquito bites, in my opinion. And then as a little bit of time went on, I'll see if I can find pictures. I don't have a ton, and if I do, I'll insert them throughout this video if you're watching through YouTube. As time went on, those little tiny bumps grew into scars. They were never wounds to turn into scars. They just grew into what looked like scars. They were like a red color, and that was that. That's just what I dealt with for the rest of high school. And I don't know, at the time I just wasn't like, of course I didn't love it, but I didn't mind still. I've always been such a dress girl. I love dresses, so I didn't mind. But fast forward, we live in Oklahoma, and I don't even know if I've shared like bits and pieces, but we live in Oklahoma, and so we had a pretty big tornado that happened in 2013, and at this time it was just 2 scars. They were shiny. They did not look like this. They were just like one flat kind of colored scar. But we had massive tornadoes, and about a week or 2 later, we had massive flash floods. And so where I was working at the time, my boyfriend at the time's parents lived really close. So I was driving to their house. Well, my car, I drove a little car. It got stuck in a flooded intersection. And so I had to, of course, get out of my car. This is just kind of painting a picture of what happened. I had to get out of my car. And from there, I can't remember timeline exactly, but from there, I think I got like tiny little micro cuts. And then, of course, being in the nasty flood water, because the week previous or 2 weeks previous when we had those tornadoes, I helped clean up some. So I think I could have gotten some micro cuts that I didn't know about. All of that being said, they turned into open wounds on both of my shins. And I did not know that I had NLD at the time, so I didn't know how sensitive they could be. Maybe things would have gone differently, but regardless, they turned into open wounds, and that began a journey. Again, timelines are kind of fuzzy for me, but that began a journey of trying to figure out what was going on, because at first I just thought I had like cuts or like wounds. I don't even know what I thought, to be honest. So then my dad takes me to the dermatologist, They didn't know what they were doing because at this point it's wounds, right? Like dermatology is not there for wounds, they're there for skin. And so they tried to give me silver. I forgot exactly what it's called. It's like purple, silver. It's this purple stuff. That didn't help. I saw a couple of wound care specialists until I found my angel wound care specialist. And I went to her weekly for 10 years, off and on. My longest like stint away from her, I think, was like 3 months. But for 10 years, I went there every single week, Wednesday or Thursday, because those were the days that she was there. And she's still practicing too. So, NLD, again, I read a little bit of the description. If you have it, and because of Instagram and my posts, there are many women that I've met now that do have it, and men can get it too, but it's most commonly found in women and most commonly found in type 1 diabetic women. But they are very sensitive parts of your skin. And so any little wrong move, any little wrong bump can turn into a wound. And if it turns into a wound untreated, it can get bad, and it can get bad fast. The size of my shin wounds that or scars that you're seeing right here, those were full blown wounds. And you also have like, it's like the worst nerve pain I could even possibly begin to describe. I think there was years that I just didn't sleep a full night of sleep. I met my wound care specialist, and she was like, I have never ever treated NLD before, because they did like the biopsy and stuff, found out that's what it was. But if you are willing to be my patient and let me try to figure this out, then I'm willing to figure this out. And I said, okay, let's do it. So that began a long journey. I've done lab made skin grafts, I've done antibiotics, I've done ointments, creams, gels, all of the things. And when they are open wounds, they have a mind of its own. So at the wound care specialist, they, every week that you go in, at the place that I went to, no matter what patient they had, they were required to go weekly. And so the nurses every week measure your wound to see the progress. Since these had such a mind of their own, they could never just measure one wound, because what could be one wound 1 week, next week would have moved somewhere else. It was crazy. But so they would just measure my whole shin from the start of one wound to the end of another, lengthwise and widthwise. And that's kind of how they measured. And so I actually have like pictures, and I'll spare you guys and not post that. They're very, very gross. Imagine having to deal with it. It was horrible. Now the girls that I talked to on Instagram, and there have been a couple of guys that have commented on those reels, but it's all pretty much women. The ones that I've talked to on Instagram that have like DM'd me personally, and we've had discussions, there have been a couple that are like, why, I have like an open wound, and I'm like, telling them what to do immediately. So if you're listening or watching this, find a wound care specialist immediately if you have open wounds, because they can lose control quickly. And I'm not fear mongering, I'm stating the facts, but if they lose too much control, it can lead to an amputation if it gets to that point.
Well,
But
also, if you even have NLD and it's not open wounds, you need to know who you're gonna go to. If
yeah,
something happens, like, you don't want to have to figure it out on the spot.
that's
So
so true.
just find a specialist either way.
Yeah, that is so true. So another common question I've gotten so much is like, what do I do for these scars? And every single time I message a girl, I'm like, you're probably going to be so disappointed in my answer. I don't do anything. I think after what I went through for a decade, just having scars, I was just so grateful to not have any wounds that I never looked into it. I never tried anything. I didn't try lights, steroids, laser treatments, anything, which I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit sketched out by the laser treatments, because that skin is already extremely sensitive. So I personally would not recommend that.
It's kind of one of those don't poke the bear.
Yeah, I don't have experience in that. So, please do your own research. But I personally, like, I've had hair laser removal treatment, and it's just pretty invasive. So I can't imagine.
And if you're gonna try it, like, just test it on a small area somewhere first,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
to see how you
Just
react.
be careful. So yeah, so girls that have asked me, what have I done for the scarring? Sorry to disappoint. I haven't done anything. I really haven't. But one thing I do do that is important. You have to keep them moisturized, because if they get dry,
They
dry skin
yeah.
cracks. Cracked skin can lead to wounds. I'm very, very careful with my shins. I don't do things that could cause risk. I'm just very careful, because it's not because of what I went through. I know that it's not worth, even like we talked about doing a mud run before, and Mike was like, no. And I'm like, okay, you're right.
It's just not
Because
worth
it's
it.
just not worth it. 1 hour of fun for a potential of years again of
And it's
that.
also a run. It's not even that fun. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I've never done it.
so
So
we don't need to.
so yeah,
Yeah.
I'm very careful, but that was a journey, because it's a pain that I cannot even begin to describe. If you're watching this and you've ever experienced nerve pain, then it's like that. It's a chronic nerve pain that like quite literally never goes away. It's the grace of God. I don't know how I survived that. I was depressed a lot. I had a lot of mental breakdowns. Whenever they were at their worst, I was dating somebody who was just like not a great partner. I just remember like he would literally just like not even be in the room with me at night, because I was tossing and turning so much, which I understand, but I was just in so much pain. Like I would literally cry trying to sleep every single night. I had to have them wrapped. And when going to wound care, you do have to get them debrided weekly. And so I had to change them on my own at home. Depending on what treatment we were doing, it was either daily or every other day. So I had to wear cast shower covers to take a shower, because you cannot wash them that way. You had to use saline water and the special things that you had. You had to use gloves to keep everything sterile. It was a whole journey, a very painful one, emotionally and physically, very painful journey. But yeah, that's NLD. If you're watching this and that's something that you struggle with, if you've never had wounds, then I would just caution you, just be careful. Don't live your life in fear, but please be careful. And then if you have open wounds and you haven't done anything and you're watching this, like, please find a specialist like ASAP. If you live in Oklahoma, message me. I'll share my specialist with you. But yeah, find somebody ASAP. You do not want to mess around with it. And in the meantime, if you're trying to find somebody, I can share a couple of tips of what you can do in the meantime of like finding them. Don't put regular band-aids on them.
You should make a tip video.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's people that just search for that too.
That would be good.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, so many comments I got and so many messages I got were like, I've never seen anybody else with this. I've never found like social media about this. I've never seen anyone post about this, or you're the only other person I've ever seen with this. And it's like those comments were flooded with other women that were dealing with it too. Like, we're not alone, but it is a rare condition.
Well, it's like that's such a niche, like such a small amount of people, because it's women way more than men, and then it's type 1 diabetics, and then it's 1% of that.
Yeah.
So, or less than 1%.
It was
0.3%
to 1.2%.
I'm just rounding
It's
to 1.
crazy.
But yeah, 1% of 1% of 1% of 50% or something like that is insane. So yeah, you're probably never going to meet anybody unless you go search for them and find them, you know?
I can share like a traumatic story that happened to me. I was at the gynecologist, getting my like shot that I got at the time. That I was like 19 years old. I'm 32 for reference. And so I would go there for my shot that I was getting, and you wouldn't even see the doctor, you just see the nurse. They'd give you your shot and you leave. The nurse that was giving me my shot, again, I mentioned I loved dresses, so that was something that I just didn't stay away from. At this time, I hadn't found my wound care specialist yet, so they were open wounds that were scabbed over, and I didn't know what was going on, so I just wore clothes. Like, I didn't know what to do at the time. So I was literally wearing boots and a dress. I remember my exact outfit. I was wearing this little white summer dress and like these like chestnut colored boots, but my wounds were kind of peeking out of the boots. And the nurse was like, you need to cover those up. And, you know, immediately you're thinking, probably what I'm thinking, like, oh, she's just like, she cares. She's like, you need to cover those. Like, that's bad. No, she then continues on and goes, if I were eating in a restaurant, I would be so grossed out and lose my appetite. And I just remember being so stunned. I did not know what to say. I got to my car. I called my sister, bawling my eyes out. And let's just say big sister handled it real quick. She handled it so quick. She immediately contacted that office and handled it. That was like Just a traumatic time of life. And right before I met Mike, actually, like the year that I met you, I actually had to go back to wound care for 2 months. I'm so blessed that it was only 2 months. But yeah, I had to go back because a tiny little wound. Because sometimes if I nick it, I can tell by looking at it because I did this for so long. I can tell if it's going to close up. I can tell usually within a day or two, like, what's this going to be? So once the wound looked the way that it did, this tiny little wound, I was like, ugh, I have to go to the specialist. Like if the wound has like what looks like a hard layer of just like yellow or like skin over it, that's when you need to go to the doctor immediately. If it looks like just a regular wound, it's like flesh, red skin under, like blood, you're probably fine. Again, please do your research. I'm not a doctor, but for myself, so I had to go back to wound care, and I remember feeling so defeated. But immediately, it's nurses that have watched me literally grow up in my 20s. And so
They've learned a lot.
they've
And they
learned,
know
and
you.
still to this day, at least in 2023, when I went back, still to that day, she had not had another patient with NLD.
That's crazy.
So of course, like they remember me because it's such a hard condition. But anyway, so that was,
They're like praying they
yeah,
don't see you.
yeah, that was, well, they all have that same look when you, hi, Jen.
Hmm.
But yeah. So, anywho, I really don't know what else to share about it.
Well, you've told me most of that before, and I mean, it just breaks my heart that you ever had to deal with any of it, you know. And like everybody's got their hardships or whatever, but like the amount of support you had, the amount of just knowledge in general around the whole topic. I mean, even at the time, they were probably still just calling type 1 juvenile diabetes, right?
I don't remember when they started calling it type 1.
Either way, like there's just not a lot of knowledge and stuff anyway. And it's like, it just breaks my heart to think about you struggling and in pain and all these things. It's something I pray about all the time, that you're okay, and, you know, just to be protected with it. People say everything happens for a reason, and like, eh, yes and no, I think, but
Agree.
no matter what happens, God can use it for good, which means he gives it a purpose. He gives it a reason. I'm incredibly grateful and thankful that you haven't had to deal with it, especially since I've known you. And hopefully we can keep that streak going forever. But because of it, you have all this experience and you're getting this like social following, which brings awareness. And like, there's a lot of people behind the scenes looking that are getting some support basically. And they're thinking, oh man, like, this is actually serious, or this is something that people actually know about, or whatever. So, you know, God can use anything for good. So it's really cool that he's able to use you in that way.
Thank
And
you.
that's what I'm saying. You need to make like a specific, like, this is a podcast and we're talking about it, right? But like a video of like, here's some of the items that you need to have on hand. And obviously you're not a doctor or whatever, but like nobody's making a video. Make some good tip videos. Like that would help a lot of people too.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that, you know, you've learned as much as you have, and scares the crap out of me when you like even like stub your toe. I'm like, oh gosh, like I'm gonna watch you for a couple days. I know there was a time somewhat recently you hit your shin on something. I don't know what. Do you remember?
Mhm.
I think you came home from the gym and you're like, just so you know, I hit my shin, but I think it's okay. And I saw it and it was just like I mean, it was a gash. Like it wasn't big, but I could tell like it was a hard impact, like straight into your shin, and there was a cut, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like I was like terrified, like.
Yeah.
So I'm really really thankful that didn't turn into anything, but
Thank you.
yeah, you haven't mentioned it, but maybe you're used to it or just don't want to complain or something. But do you still have pain, like nerve pain?
No, I would tell you.
I mean, you obviously have nerve damage, but like, do you think the nerves are like dead now
No,
to
because
where
I
you?
can still feel my leg.
Yeah.
I can fully feel it. Yeah. I don't have pain anymore. Even after they were healed, I had a little like surges is like the best way I can describe nerve pain. There was like surges that would happen every once in a while, but I haven't had that in a long time. And the cause of NLD is unknown, but I will say the way to best control it is to have good control over your diabetes management, for sure. That was something
Yeah.
that I think prolonged my healing for sure was
Yeah.
my poor diabetes
Well, and
management.
then dealing with that, your sleep's messed up, being in pain, you don't probably want to eat. You're stressed to the max. Like that just makes diabetes worse, all that.
Yeah.
So like just feeding off of each other to make everything bad.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Like a
And
vicious cycle,
mhm,
literally.
yeah. Well, on the tip stuff, what would you say people should just have just in case?
Well,
And I know it's not going to be like a treatment, but like you go on a walk and you run into a little like stick or something and it scrapes you. What should have people have to where they can just go home and they can do this, they can clean it or whatever?
first of all, I'll link the things I talk about in the description to make this easy. If a wound happens, don't waste any second. Like, find a wound care specialist immediately. And if you're watching this and you have NLD and you've never had a wound, like Mike said, that's such good advice that I never thought of. Have a wound care specialist in mind or a place in mind already. But things to have on hand. So if a wound does happen and you're waiting to get in to see the wound care specialist because you can't treat this on your own and you're waiting to get in, you need to get contact layer, because the thing is, what we're told is when we have a wound, we need to like put a band-aid on it because the band-aid keeps it from getting affected, all the things. Band-aids have this tiny, tiny layer that keep it from sticking to wounds or whatever. But when it comes to NLD wounds, they're a completely different beast. You cannot use band-aids, especially band-aids, because you're going to tear your skin around it, which could make it spread. You cannot use, like, you can get the non-stick quote unquote gauze pads. Those still stick to these type of wounds, especially if they get bad. So that's why I say contact layer. It's a specific kind of like mesh material that has silver on it. I think all of them have silver on it, but so it does not stick. It's
It's
easy to put on and
like a
off.
nonstick pan. Like when you put stuff on your pan, it's not nonstick. It
Mm,
screws everything up when you take it off. You got to have that because I mean, even on like a regular wound, if it's a bad wound, you can't just stick whatever on it.
yeah.
So like you got to have that so that way it's still protected after you clean it,
Yeah.
right? And then what do you use on top of that? Like the wrap?
Yeah. So have the contact layer. And then on top of contact layer, you can put regular gauze. And again, it's like I'm like reluctant to say all the instructions I'm saying, because if it's the point that you're having to do every step that I'm about to list out, you need to be in a wound care specialist. And if you're seeing a specialist that has never dealt with this, then okay, here's your tips. Contact layer, and then you can put gauze, little gauze, like 4x4 things on top of it, and then wrap it with gauze. And do not cut your circulation off. That skin is very sensitive. So you don't want to wrap it too loose that it falls, but you want to wrap it, and then you want to use just like first aid tape to put the gauze together, but you don't want tape touching your skin really. And so if you're having issues with the gauze staying on, then you can use the band-aid. What's that called? It's like the when you go to give blood. You don't want to use that every day because then you're not getting any airflow.
It's something tape. I forgot what
Yeah.
it's called.
So, and I'll link all of this, but, and then when you're showering, you want to get cast covers. And Walgreens or Walmart is where I always got them, because you do not want to get it wet with regular water, your shower water, especially. No swimming. So yeah, I didn't swim for many, many years. Maybe that's why I'm not crazy on it, but, uh, and then you want to clean it with saline water. You want to have gloves. You want to have all of this sterile. So purchase a container that you then sanitize, and then that's where you keep all of your supplies. And after you use your scissors, you want to sterilize it. Like, everything has to stay sterile because it's so sensitive. And this sounds overwhelming and like a lot. Again, this should be instructions you're getting from your wound care specialist, because if you're at the point of that, you shouldn't be taking my instructions. You should already be seeing
Well, and
somebody.
what I meant was more just you got hurt, you go home, you find a place and they're not open till tomorrow. So tonight, clean it,
Clean it with
dress it.
saline water, dress it with contact layer and gauze.
So the contact layer and the saline, that's the big deal. And if you hopefully you shower, but
Cover it.
if you're gonna shower that night,
Yeah.
like saran wrap cover or like what?
Go to Walmart or Walgreens. They're open, and go get cast covers. Don't.
Those are
Yeah.
like plastic,
Yeah. I'll show
like a
you.
plastic covered sleeve, basically.
It's a covered sleeve and it
Because
has
it's got to
like
be watertight, is
rubber.
what I'm
Yeah.
thinking.
Yeah, and I mean, worst case scenario, yeah, I use saran wrap. I had to try that out of desperation once, but it doesn't really work.
Or
So
keep the body part out of the shower while you shower.
I've done that
Whatever it
too.
takes, you know.
Yeah. But you want to be cleaning with saline water, not regular water. If there's anything that I'm wanting to show when I'm sharing all of this stuff, isn't necessarily to give you medical tips. I'm going to just urge you to see a specialist ASAP. Um, but the biggest reason why I started sharing was, one, for awareness. That way, yes, people know what to do if that happens. But to show, like, wear your shorts, wear your dresses, wear your skirts. Don't hide. Don't hide behind it. I think I just forget because I am a confident person. I didn't always used to be, but I am confident. I don't care now. Even to this day, I'll catch people staring. I don't care. They're just curious, whatever. If they stare too long, I'd say something, but it's always an innocent, like, oh, what's that? You know, like, keep walking. They don't actually ask that, but it's like a whatever. It happens all the time. Um, but anyways, that's the biggest thing I want to share, and sharing all of it is just to show women, like, please don't hide. Your imperfections are what make you beautiful and make you unique. And even if they're imperfections you didn't necessarily ask for and that didn't come without a lot of pain, they're still part of you. So rock your shorts, rock your skirts and your dresses. And, you know, if somebody, a nurse at a gynecologist office, says something rude, and call your big sister and have her chew them out.
And it again, it's not about, you know, don't be fearful, don't be embarrassed or whatever. It's just like, just be prepared. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, I'm not saying that we're not giving medical advice. We'll say it a million times, but it would be dumb to have any kind of condition that can be a thing and you don't have anything at your house to even just clean a little bit or something.
Yeah.
Because like something is better than nothing. And if you just go throughout your days until you can get in, maybe it's a day or a week later. I mean, there's a lot that could happen in that time.
Yeah.
Infection can set in horribly in a
And
day.
these are very fast. When they are infected, open wounds, they are extremely quick. Yeah. Very, very fast.
On a positive note, first time I ever saw you, which was a picture on Facebook dating, you had a white and pink dress and heels, and the dress was pretty short, it was above your knees and everything. I remember seeing your shins, and I was just like, huh, what is that? You know? And at first I was like, maybe that's like birthmarks. And I was like, well, it'd be kind of weird for it to be both shins on the front. Like, maybe she got burned or something. And I was like, I don't know what this is, but her smile is freaking perfect. And I can tell she has like a confidence about her. I don't know. There was a lot of thoughts from just one picture.
I was wearing a light purple dress with a pink Omnipod patch. I know exactly what picture you're talking about.
Yeah.
It was like that purple.
Yeah. And I just remember thinking, like, man, I don't know what it is about her, but I want to talk to her, you know?
Aw.
And it was one of those, for years, I had prayed for a lot of things about a wife and for a wife. And one of the things I always prayed for is someone that I can take care of in some kind of way. I don't know. God's cool. Maybe that was one of the ways that he showed me, like, hey, she has diabetes and could use some support. You know, she's not a vegetable or in a wheelchair, so you don't have to change your life for it, but you can use,
But your life probably did
but
change
I
a
can
lot.
use my gift of serving and protecting and things like that. I just thought that was worth mentioning because that was really cool. Because
Thank
I mean,
you.
I remember that
Aw.
like so clearly, like scrolling, flipping left and right or whatever you do on there, you know. And I was like, huh. And it was so weird because you see a wide array of characters on dating apps, you know, and there's a lot of people with all kinds of different things going on, good, bad, physical, weird mental stuff you can see from a picture, all kinds of things. And for some reason, I saw you, and I was like, "Huh."
You
Like
said, that's Mrs.
I was just
Harrison.
intrigued, and I just wanted to know you, and then I knew you, and then I married you, and here you are. So
Here we
that's what
are.
happened.
I love that. Thank you, baby. I appreciate that so much. I know all we talked about was some weird skin condition. So if this relates to you, then I hope it helps you. And
This is an awareness video
it's the 0.3 to
podcast.
1.2% that could be watching this video. And you know what? You are very important to me. So that's what this is for. And if you're listening to this and you know anybody that you could share this with, then share it with them, that it could help them. So
See, and that's what I was
that's
thinking,
really
because
what this is
there's
for.
gonna be people that are trying to figure it out, or they saw your like reels or something like that, and it points them to here so they can learn a little bit, or at least just figure out, oh, I got to get this taken care of. But this is also for all the people that if you just know somebody that's dealing with it, don't just think about them, tell them, show them, make them go to somebody or whatever,
Yeah.
just to be prepared. It's like not knowing if there's a hospital nearby. And okay, well, when something happens, what are you going to do? You cut your hand really bad and like, oh no, I need stitches or something. And you have no idea where to go because you weren't prepared enough to think about what if something happens. This is something that it's like, I'm not gonna say inevitable, but like that's so serious, and the chances of something happening are so high.
Yeah.
That
Well,
you should have a plan. Just
and in
always
the
have a plan.
diabetes community, and the type 1 diabetes community specifically, what I see a bunch of is like cute little device changes, which I do. So I'm not like bashing it, obviously. Talking about how keeping blood sugars is hard, or like how this and that affects blood sugars. But I don't see people talking about the internal damage that can happen, the external damage that is happening, not just our blood sugars, but what our blood sugars affect. And so I think that's kind of was my shift in viewpoint this year, is like, I don't care if this has 2 views or 2 likes, that's 2 people that it could help. And so that's kind of like where I'm at with it, where I know that we are at with it. And also, you said something that I just want to go on a random tangent about, that is like a pet peeve. I don't like it, and I think you're probably on the same page as me, when somebody is like, and I know it's well meaning, so like if you've ever said this to me, I'm sorry.
Hmm.
But when people are like, I'm thinking about you, cool. What does that do for me? Like, prayer is a lot more powerful. Thank you.
Or
But you
even
won't catch
worse,
me saying that to someone. I was like, if it was like, I was thinking about you and da 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 da, but like you're going through something hard and somebody's like, I'm thinking of you.
it's
Cool.
annoying. It's annoying, and I
Can't
think
stand it.
over the years, I just kind of took that as like a little.
They're being
It's a
sweet.
poke of saying, "Hey, I care,"
Yeah.
but like
Yeah.
they just don't know what to do.
They're being sweet.
So
I'm
it's
an I'm a
something.
typically optimistic person, but
Donate to my cause.
there's a few things in this life that like I just like can't stand, and that's just one random little
and
pet peeve that
and
I
that's
have.
also why we're not selling a diabetes program on how to eat or something. I mean,
Yeah, because there's some people that want to eat higher carbs. There's some people that want to eat low carbs.
here's
I
the
don't
thing.
care.
No matter what your
Just manage your
condition is,
diabetes.
unless it's an allergy to something, you can eat any type of diet if it's planned and managed.
Yeah, just manage your
So,
diabetes. Like,
like, I love my dad, but as far as like, I'm allergic to dairy, and my dad thinks it's gluten or something, and he's like, "Oh, Jen, you can't do that. That has sugar in it." And it's like, yeah, you don't get it.
everyone in the type 1 diabetics community's biggest pet peeve. It's like, actually, hand me that freaking lollipop, or like, hand me that
It's
bag of
like if
chips.
with type 1 diabetes, if you keep all the sugar from me, I'm gonna die. I'm
Literally.
gonna need some carbs eventually.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, it's crazy, and people don't know if they don't know about
Very true.
anything. So
Yeah, I don't mean to sound like
no,
a
it's you're being
itch
helpful, and you're also
bee.
itch bay.
I don't mean to sound like that. I don't know. If you're watching this, don't ever tell me you're thinking about me.
People are gonna start messaging you. I don't think about you. I didn't even know you existed.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know it's well meaning. I had somebody say it to me recently, and I thought it was so sweet because I know her heart. So I'm just smack talking over here. You just won't catch me saying it. You know what I mean?
So hey, think of me all you want, but donate to my GoFundMe so I
I
can.
don't have a GoFundMe.
Well, maybe we need one.
No, for what?
I'm just saying, but
Donate to my GoFundMe so I can.
give to what's it called,
No, so I can
breakthrough,
go shopping. I'm just kidding.
so I can
Quit my
donate
job.
to breakthrough. What is it?
Breakthrough T1D. Oh my
T-
gosh.
okay, breakthrough NLD.
Yeah. I love you.
I love you too. And we're staying healthy. And also go to the gym, eat right, get some sleep. Like, you're just going to always just do better.
Do what I do terribly and drink some water.
That's most people's worst. Most people, they sleep plenty, you know? Most people, some people, I'd say 50-50. A lot of people can figure out diet. Like, hey, eat real food, not like McDonald's or like frozen everything. But the water is a big deal.
Yeah.
More people have told me how they struggle with water than everything else combined.
Yeah.
So I get it.
So drink your water, eat right, and whatever right is to you.
Take your vitamins.
And take your vitamins.
Do
And
your
if you
push-ups
have
and sit-ups.
NLD, go get it checked out.
Yes.
And that's the episode for today.
Yep.
Happy Wednesday or happy whatever day this is that you're watching. Bye, honeys.
So we're honey, but you call them honey too?
Yeah. Hi, honey podcast.
People are honey.
Yeah.
So
no one's my honey like you're my honey.
What are the bees then?
That'd be cute. Bye, bees. No, I don't like that.
Like they make
honey
us?
Bees. No, that's weird.
That's weird. You know, honey is just like bee pollen and spit.
It's delicious. I love bee pollen and spit.
That's probably why it's good for allergies too, which I need to get some of that. I forgot.
Okay, I love you.
I love you too.
Bye, honey. All right, that's it for today.
Thanks for hanging with us.
Be sure you're subscribed or following wherever you're listening.
And let us know in the comments what you liked from today's episode.
We'll see you next week.